Okie dokie, welcome back to the channel, and here we are once again with another HenzRantz. This is the series where I go into a topic regarding the gaming industry and try to call out the rubbish that it might be spreading or shed some positivity on the topic or whatever it is I decide to speak about. If you enjoy this video, be sure to hit that like button and leave a comment with any feedback or your input regarding what we are going to discuss in today's video, and be sure to subscribe with notifications on so you do not miss out on any of my content or possible future HenzRantz. Now, if you've been around the channel before or you've seen any previous HenzRantz of mine, you will notice that most of them have been about Call of Duty and XDefiant basically having a civil war with each other. And when I say that, I basically mean that the community is all up in arms and there is just chaos everywhere. Nobody can be positive. You get shat on for being positive about the game, and it's just getting really out of hand, and quite honestly it's getting very off-putting to play the game and just, share anything positive about XDefiant, because if you do, you will get clouded with hate and you'll just get called everything under the goddamn sun. Trust me, I've been there. But in this rant today, we have another rumour sort of similar to this Tom Henderson article from earlier this year, where he was claiming that XDefiant was going to be shut down after Season 3 if the player numbers don't get risen. It's sort of along that lines, but this time we've been given an extra season. Oh boy. So, here is the current rumour that is starting to spread. It is from someone who I've never heard before. He claims he's a game developer that knows stuff, but anybody can do that these days. It's the internet and it's Twitter. So let's just get straight into it. He claims that XDefiant is already dead. Ubisoft research team is actively asking their testers to have another in-house testing session and give/repeat their feedback. Multiple sources have told them that it's possible that the game will end its support after Season 4 if they can't get enough players. So, this sounds like the exact same thing that Tom Henderson was trying to report a couple days before the Black Ops 6 beta was released. And if you know when Black Ops 6 is about to release, it is literally, I think, a week away from where I'm recording this, and this is probably going to be uploaded. Who cares? I'm not buying the game, I'm not wanting it, I just don't want to be associated with it. But it is still seemingly suspicious how this person is starting to tweet this stuff out right before Black Ops 6's launch is happening. Now, this is definitely not on the scale of the Tom Henderson stuff. Like, he is a reputable person in the gaming industry. Everybody gloats and just, listens to everything he says because he's got so much right in the past, but he has also gotten stuff wrong before. May I remind you about Battlefield 2042 and how he was basically goating the launch of that, and then the game was an absolute dumpster fire. But this is where this rant is being made. It's not so much about the rumour, and I want to also thank Scotty McGaming for bringing me to light about this rumour, because I didn't know about it until he sent it to me and replied to a comment of mine on his recent video, which you should definitely go and check out. Somebody replied to this tweet, and he seems to be let's say a Call of Duty fanboy. He's got his verified tick, he's got all the Call of Duty stuff in his bio. His whole account is just straight up to do with Call of Duty. And he just replies with a laughing emoji. And this has really gotten me just cross, because it can't be more clear enough that the problem with XDefiant is the Call of Duty community, who have come over to this game and has started to treat it like it's their own. They want it to start being like Call of Duty. They want to start controlling it like it's Call of Duty. They want it to basically become Call of Duty. It's not the same game. The only thing that's similar is it is a first-person shooter. And they're the ones who are going around saying that this game is dead. This game has no players. This is going to be shut down after this amount of time. And if you really do pay attention to how the Call of Duty community work, there's this cycle where the game launches, everybody bloody tugs it off for a month or two, and then they start claiming that it's the worst load of shit that's ever released, and then they go back to the last game, and even if that game was bad or not, they'll still say it was better than the current game, or that it's not as bad as they thought. And that even happened with Vanguard, and Vanguard was what broke my PlayStation 4, fun fact. So if anybody's saying that game was good, they need to be examined royally. But how long has XDefiant been out for? It's been out for a few months now. It feels like that the Call of Duty community are trying to take this same cycle that happens with every yearly game and apply it to XDefiant. But the only difference is, XDefiant's not releasing multiple games every single year. I say multiple games. They're not releasing yearly games. This game is going to be here for the long run. It's a marathon, not a sprint. This game has 5 years ahead of it, like, planned for its future, at least. Yes, it's going to be here longer than that, but that's where I'm just going to say because it's realistic at the moment. But it just baffles my mind how these are these people are the problem with XDefiant at the moment. It's not the developers. Yes, the developers need to speed up with these updates, but they have been very consistent with the game updates. It's been every other week, and you cannot knock them for that. Call of Duty, you're waiting at least a month for the next update, and even then, nothing gets fixed. Problems from launch exist 6 months later. May I remind that Modern Warfare 3 has packet burst a whole year later. If I go back to that little clip that I have from the last time I played Modern Warfare 3, and I played it now, it would be the exact same experience. I'm not even going to reinstall the game just to experience that, because holy shit, I just don't want to experience that again. It's awful. But it just, like I said, it just baffles me how the Call of Duty community are trying to take this COD cycle, this yearly COD cycle where everybody gets bored of the game and sick of it and starts crapping on it a few months after it's come out and trying to apply it to a game that's going to be lasting years and years and years. And it just makes no sense to me, because why is it that another first person shooter comes out, you can try and warp it to make it like a different one? Just because Call of Duty is, yeah, it's the biggest first person shooter series on the planet, why is it that all other first-person shooters have to try and follow the trends that Call of Duty set? Why is it that no first-person shooter can be its own thing? Why is it got to be why is it got to be what Call of Duty is? If you want to play Call of Duty, go and play Call of Duty. Stop coming to these other games and trying to ruin them just because it's not the same, or it's not what you want it to be. Like, it's not what it is that you want to play. Just stick with your rubbish. Just stick with your recycled crap every year. Just stick with the development teams that do not listen to you, that do not care about you. You are just a number on a graph for their shareholders. Ubisoft actually cares about this game. Ubisoft actually care about the players who are playing this one. And yet, apparently, it's just not good enough. Like, you're just going to get shot on. This game's just terrible, you know? It's just bad. But I don't know. But the point I'm trying to get is, we need to stop ignoring these Call of Duty players. Like, they have not got a clue what they're on about. They just repeat the same stuff with every single shooter game that comes out. I'm pretty sure the exact same thing would have happened with Rainbow Six Siege. And plus, with Rainbow Six Siege, that game was on the brink of death. It was on life support because it launched so broken and buggy. And what's happened now? It's one of the biggest shooters on the planet. Yes, it took them a couple months. Yes, it took them a few months to get a foundation. Yes, it took a few months for them to squash the bugs that were in the game at launch. But look at it now. It's the biggest tactical shooter on the planet, and it's nearly at its 10th year. Like, if you can give Rainbow Six Siege that chance, give it to XDefiant. Or is it that today's world is so numb to the core with their TikTok and their short-term content and their short dopamine need that they're just going to play on the same small maps that you're going to get from every single Call of Duty game just over and over and over and over and over? Like, there's already people saying about Nuketown coming a week after Black Ops 6's launch. They're just going to play Nuketown 24/7 just so they can get their weapons up. Those same people are still here at XDefiant, trying to cry and complain for Arena 24/7, Rockefeller 24/7. Yes, we love those small maps even. But if you're constantly playing them, that's what's going to get boring. But Call of Duty manipulates their player base with skill-based matchmaking, engagement-based matchmaking. Every single game in there is rigged, so they're going to keep playing it. And they come over to XDefiant where there isn't that stuff in any of the modes. The only thing that has skill-based matchmaking is ranked. But they play these casual games, and then it's revealed how bad they are at the game. So perhaps it's also these fanboys who are coming over here, realizing they are shit at first-person shooter games. They are getting called out for it. So they're just going to decide to hate on it. And I guarantee half of them who spread hate about this game are still playing it themselves, but they just appear online so their friends don't mock them for it. I've seen it. I've seen when people are on this game, lower levels, because I want to check if they're new to the game or whatnot, or how much time they've played, or like if they're Call of Duty people. Half of them are appearing offline. And it only seems to be coincidentally after they start playing XDefiant. So, I don't know. I really do not know. But we need to stop listening to these Call of Duty people. They need to stop coming into other games, other franchises, trying to ruin them just because it's not what they want. It's not the same as what they've got. If you want to play Call of Duty, play Call of Duty. Don't come over to another first-person shooter trying to ruin it, because XDefiant is not Call of Duty. It's an arena, fast-paced arena shooter. This is more catered to the Halo crowd. This is more of the style of a Halo game, a fast-paced arena shooter. This is more of a competitor to Splitgate as well, a fast-paced arena shooter. And Overwatch in some regards because of the abilities, but that is a whole sort of, different discussion. But stop trying to turn XDefiant into Call of Duty. They're different games. You want to play Call of Duty? Go and play Call of Duty. Don't come to XDefiant and start crapping on the game, spreading hate, and causing people to be shied away from playing the game because they've seen 70 different children going, oh, the game's dead, it's dying, it's gonna die within this X amount of time. Just, enough is enough. Seriously, enough is enough. And let us be positive about the game. Don't give a shit for being a fucking shill. Don't give a shit saying that we're on the Ubisoft payroll and all that stuff. Nobody who's giving this game praise is on the Ubisoft payroll. It is genuine. We love this game. We wouldn't be fucking saying that if we didn't. This is ridiculous. Anyway, it's like I could apply that same logic to kids with their parents. Like, oh, you're only saying you love us because your parents paid you to say that. It's like, do you see how stupid that is? I don't know. Anyway, I'm gonna end this rant here because it's gone on long enough. Let's see what happens with this room. It's clearly it's just another person garnering for attention, and look at me catering to that attention, seeking this that he is requiring. Anyway, enough of me now. I'm going to end this rant here. I hope you have all enjoyed. Be sure to hit that like button if you did, and subscribe with notifications on so you do not miss out on any of my content. And when the mid-season update for XDefiant gets announced, we will definitely be going over the patch notes and the stuff coming, and hopefully we'll have the Halloween event soon. But yes, I've been Henry. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.